Hey everybody, this is dHunter bringing another action figure collection video. This is going to be episode 38 of dHunter's complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. This episode is going to consist of Mattel's DC Universe Classics figures. Now I collected all the Batman-related stuff from the DC Universe Classics line unopened. I believe I have every single Batman-related character unopened with the exception of the single release of Gentleman Ghost. And I have almost everything open as well. In this video, we're going to take a look at each of the figures wave by wave. We'll take a look at what I've unopened and what I've opened as well. Now, DC Universe Classics followed Mattel's DC Superheroes line, and that followed Mattel's 2005 Batman comic line. DC Universe Classics was followed up by Mattel's DC Multiverse line. I'm going to have a separate video on that, as there are way too many figures for one video. If you want to see how extensive my unopened Batman action figure collection is, check out episode 1, the overview. There will be a link in the description below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's see how we got to this point. Before we dig into this video, let's take a quick look at my overall action figure collection. Here's when I had everything laid out in the house. So I think I've finally done it. I've unpacked all of the figures. As you can see here, we have the Diamond Select Toys Gotham collection. Here's a bunch of my Mezco unopened figures. Some more Mattel stuff. Here's the Legends of the Dark Knight line. This is the Batman Power Attack line. Sort of Batman Unlimited. All my Justice League Unlimited stuff. This is the entire DC Direct and DC Collectibles Arkham collection. Mattel's 1966 line, DC Superhero Girls, all the different NECA Batman figures, some Target exclusive line, all the amazing Yamaguchi figures back there, some Spin Master stuff, the Mattel Batman Missions line. Of course, in the very back, it's my entire comic collection with all the recent McFarlane releases in front. And above that, got a bunch of DC Direct and Mattel figures in the last several years. Moving on, pretty much the entire Mattel's The Batman line. Back here in the back, got my SH Figure Arts Batman figures. This side, we've got all the different Mattel Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins figures. Massive amount of piles. Back here we've got the DC Collectibles Batman the Animated Series figures, and a lot of them are on top as well. Can't wait to get to that video. That one and the Arkham collection and DC Universe Classics. Some videos I'm really excited to do. Here are the Mattel figures. I can see the Batman Legacy, Batman Unlimited. It goes all the way from the original Batman line. Here's the Batmobile. And it's going to go all the way to DC Superheroes, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse. A ton of figures. Great era with Mattel. Fun stuff. But I do like what McFarlane's doing. But I do miss these days, that's for sure. Going back to Kenner and Hasbro. Ton of Batman Beyond. Batman the Animated Series stuff. I mean, that just seemed endless to go through. My word. Look at these piles of unopened figures. Batman Animated Series continues all the way back here. Absolute ton of stuff just stacked up. On top of this table here, got all the Mafex figures and a bunch of one-offs. Some Hasbro, some McFarlane, or Mattel rather, anniversary figures. Amazing Yamaguchi, Kia Asima, all kind of different import type stuff. Then we've got JLA and Total Justice figures. And then on to all the rest of the DC Direct stuff. Bunch of DC Direct Batman related figures. Some more chill in the back here. And I filled up all these shelves temporarily, just storing all these DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And it's almost done. Here's the Mattel Batman Brave and the Bold line. I did not realize how extensive that got. And a ton more Brave and the Bold down here. Moving on again. Some old Toy Biz, Super Friends, and DC superhero figures, leading into the Dark Knight collection. Then we'll go to the Batman Returns figures. And then, of course, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, a bunch of different Bat caves, and some more animated stuff in the back there. So here's Series 1 of DC Universe Classics. We have Orion, Batman, the Penguin, the Demon Etrigan, and Red Tornado. Now I got this entire wave unopened, but typically I would have passed on Orion and Red Tornado, as I don't consider them Bat-related. Etrigan, he's sort of Bat-related. I would have got one unopened for him. So this is a offshoot of the DC Superheroes line. The line kept evolving and getting better, so let's take a look at them. So we'll start off with Orion. Here's the packaging. Big clamshell, the top, DC Universe. Down here, Classics, Orion, Wave 1, Figure 1. Includes your Collect and Connect figure piece, ages 4+. Here's Orion. It's got a little sort of hovering thing. Back, you can see the rest of the wave. In the middle, Rex Mason, the Element Man. Then we have their first Batman, DC Universe, Batman holding a Batarang and a grapnel launcher. Classic Detective Batman, Wave 1, Figure 2. Back, same thing. And here's the exact same Batman, but this is Crime Stopper Batman, packaging variant. Here is the Penguin. Comes with an umbrella, has sort of a machine gun attached. I remember the original promo pictures of Penguin, he had some sort of robotic penguin accessory, but they scrapped that. Rest of the wave. The Demon Etrigan. It's a gorgeous figure. I'd say it's the best version of the Demon out there. Rest of the wave. And finally, we have Red Tornado. Has sort of blast accessory. Here's Orion out of the package. This is definitely the figure I was least excited for in the first series. Here's Batman from the first series. It's either Classic Detective Batman or Crime Stopper Batman. I'm not sure which of the two is the rare one. It's a good looking Batman figure. I always wish they'd re-release the same Batman without the black shadow on his face. And this Batman had a re-release in the world's greatest superhero wave a couple years later. Here's the Penguin. A nice, normal, modern-looking penguin. 2 thumbs up for this figure. Here's the Demon Etrigan. This figure's great. I have at least 3 Demon figures, and this is definitely the best one. And here's Red Tornado. Like I said before, I normally would pass on a figure like this for my unopened collection, but I got the entire first wave unopened. And if you bought all 5 figures, you got to collect and connect, build Rex Mason, Metamorpho. He's a member of Batman and the Outsiders. Here are the figures I have from Series 2 unopened. Series 2 was a collect and connect Gorilla Grodd wave. Gorilla Grodd is not a Batman villain, but I do wish I had that collect and connect figure. We have both Aquaman and Harley Quinn here. Normally I wouldn't have Aquaman in my unopened collection, but for some reason I ended up with this guy. So let's take a look. Same packaging, DC Universe, Aquaman, Wave 2, Figure 2, King of Atlantis. Includes your collect and connect figure piece. Here's Aquaman, he has his trident. On the back, you can see the rest of the wave. Harley Quinn, Aquaman, Firestorm, Superman, Black Manta, and of course Grodd. They have a Harley Quinn, one of my favorite Harley Quinn figures. She has a pop gun, her mallet. She's in her classic traditional Jester outfit. Harley Quinn, Wave 2, Figure 3. Rest of the wave. Here's Aquaman out of the package. This is a slightly different variation of Aquaman. The one that's open has long hair, and the one in the package has short hair. I really did like the variants that DC Universe Classics gave us. A lot better than the McFarlane Platinum Chase unpainted variants. At least these two different kinds are useful in your action figure world. And here's Harley Quinn out of the package. This one has a blue tint to her face. One of my favorite Harley Quinn figures. Just her standard classic look. In addition to the Series 2 figures that I have unopened, I also have Black Manta loose. Here are the figures from Wave 3 that I have unopened. We've got Nightwing, Robin, and Deathstroke. Really nice Batman supporting characters. Same packaging, DC Universe, Nightwing, Figure 3, Wave 3, includes your collecting neck piece. You can see the torso of Solomon Grundy there. Nightwing the package, traditional blue and black outfit. He has his two staffs. On the back side, you can see the rest of the wave. Figures I don't have unopened, Sinestro and Green Lantern. Of course, we got Grundy in the center. Now we have Robin. He's in the costume that I didn't really want. All red. Doesn't have the green. I wanted the Tim Drake in his 90s costume. It's a Batarang, actually two Batarangs, and then a staff. Robin, Wave 3, Figure 4. Rest of the wave. Then we have Deathstroke. Deathstroke the Terminator, Wave 3, Figure 2. Includes a collecting neck piece. Here's Deathstroke. His standard outfit. Looks fantastic. He comes with a rifle, a pistol, a sword, and a staff. Rest of the wave. And here's the variant of Deathstroke. This is the unmasked version with Slade Wilson's head. Also looks fantastic. Same accessories. Posed up a little bit differently in the package. Here's this Nightwing out of the package. It's a nice, standard, modern-looking Nightwing figure. For many years, this was my main default Nightwing. And this Nightwing did end up with a re-release many years later in the 75 Years of Superpowers wave. And here's this Robin. He's in the 1 year later outfit. I always felt like this Robin was a little bit too small. And kind of like Nightwing, this Robin got a re-release years later in the World's Greatest Superheroes wave. And then we have Deathstroke, one of my favorite Deathstroke figures out there. Just in his standard look. Articulation's good, accessories are great. There's also, of course, the unmasked version. Really did like the variants that DC Universe made. They made a lot of sense. Deathstroke also got a re-release years later in the All-Star wave. And if you built the entire Wave 3, you'd get Solomon Grundy. Since I didn't get all the figures in the wave, I had to track one down on eBay. He was pricey, but boy, not as pricey as he is today. This is definitely one of the best Collect & Connect figures in the DC Universe Classics line. Here's the only figure I got from Wave 4. We have Terry McGinnis as Batman Beyond, and then we also have the unmasked Chase variant. That was a KB Toys exclusive. DC Universe, he has one Batman Beyond style Batarang, Batman Beyond, Wave 4, Figure 4. In the back, here's the rest of the wave. Captain Atom, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Batman Beyond, Ares, and you built Despero. And then here's the unmasked version. I definitely put this guy to good use. I believe it was a KB Toys exclusive. Rest in peace, KB Toys. He has the Batman Beyond Batarang. Also has the mask in his hand. Wave 4, Figure 4. Rest of the wave. Here's Batman Beyond out of the package. Kind of has a scary face. And I don't still have my unmasked Batman Beyond. I turned his head into a custom Terry McGinnis in civilian attire. And although I don't have them unopened, I got both Wonder Woman and Cyborg loose. Nice classic Wonder Woman, and then Cyborg from the new Teen Titans. Here's the only figure I have unopened from Wave 5. This is the Riddler. This is a Collect & Connect. Build a Metallo wave. Metallo is a very nice Collect & Connect figure, and I wish I had him. DC Universe, the Riddler, Wave 5, Figure 3. Here he is in the package. He has a Riddler cane, and it looks like the torso of Metallo. Backside, here's the rest of the wave. Riddler, the Atom, Amazo, Black Lightning, the Eradicator, and of course, Metallo. Here's the Riddler out of the package. This might be my favorite Riddler figure that I have. He's just normal looking, green suit, but not hokey. And Amaza was the only other figure I got from the wave, as Batman might help the Justice League take him down. Here are the figures I have from Wave 6, Killer Moth and Superman. Normally I wouldn't keep a Superman figure in my unopened collection, but I believe somebody gave me this as a gift or something like that. DC Universe, Killer Moth, Wave 6, Figure 3, includes a Collect and Connect figure piece for Calabac. On the back, here's the rest of the wave: Killer Moth, Hawkman, Mr. Miracle, Shazam, and Superman. Get them all, you can build Calabac. Then we have Superman. This is a version in the traditional outfit, but this one has a mullet. Figure 4. Rest of the wave. Here's Killer Moth out of the package. Absolutely love the fact they made this guy. Old school, hokey look. A Bat villain that's never been made before. I like it a lot. I wish they made a ton more Bat Rogues from this era and style. Wave 7 was a Collect and Connect Atom Smasher wave. I didn't get any of these unopened, as none were Batman related. But I did get Flash and Kid Flash open. And I have 2 Captain Cold figures. I used them as Mr. Freeze henchmen. Wave 8 was a Build-A-Figure Giganta wave. I don't have any of them unopened, but I do have Gentleman Ghost and Vigilante loose. Gentleman Ghost is sort of a Batman villain. He didn't start out as one, but he's been used as a Batman rogue many times. He's the only Batman-related figure that I consider I don't have unopened from the DC Universe Classics line, and he's very rare and hard to get unopened nowadays. I got Vigilante, because he's a Vigilante that goes too far and has interacted with Batman before. I did use a couple extra Vigilante figures to make some League of Shadows members from Batman the Animated Series. Here are the figures I have unopened from Wave 9, Deadshot, Black Canary, and Green Arrow. This wave was Collect and Connect Chemo. Chemo's a really nice looking Build-A-Figure, and I wish I had him. I got Deadshot because he's a Batman rogue often. Black Canary and Green Arrow, really didn't need them unopened. I definitely wanted them open. Black Canary and Green Arrow both interact with Batman quite a bit. Deadshot, no traditional accessories, but he has guns on his wrists. Wave 9, Figure 2. The back, here's the rest of the wave. Wildcat, Deadshot, Guardian, Black Adam, Mantis, Black Canary, Green Arrow, and you get Chemo. Here's Black Canary, looking pretty good. Black jacket. She got her tights on. Wave 9, Figure 6. Rest of the wave. Here's Green Arrow. Pretty cool pose in the package. All the arrows coming out. Love the variety of arrows you get. He's in his traditional sort of Robin Hood look. Wave 9, Figure 7. Rest of the wave. Here's Deadshot out of the package. Nice standard classic Deadshot. DC Universe Classics gave me all the regular looks for the rogues, and I loved it. And here's Black Canary. I always thought they did a great job with this figure. And Green Arrow in its more traditional look. Here are the figures I have from Wave 10 unopened. We have the Joker, Man-Bat, and Batman. These are all fantastic releases. DC Universe, Wave 10, Figure 3, the Joker. He comes with a mallet, a Joker cane, a Joker fish, and some Joker cards. Very traditional looking Joker. On the back, you can see the rest of the wave. Collect to Build Imperiex, Robot Man, Beast Boy, the Joker, Batman, Forager, Man-Bat, and Power Girl. Here's Man-Bat, a straight brown repaint of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive white Man-Bat from DC Superheroes. Man-Bat, Wave 10, Figure 5. Rest of the wave. Then we have a repainted Batman, all in black, sort of Keaton colors. He has a Batcomputer and a Batarang. Batman, Wave 10, Figure 7. This Batman doesn't come with a Collect and Connect part. I notice he just has a display stand down there. Here's Joker out of the package. Your standard Joker in the purple suit. Tall, thin body. Definitely reminds me of the Toy Biz version. Joker got a re-release years later in the All-Star Wave. Here's Man-Bat. Very nice figure. One of my favorite man-bats. Love the wings and the ripped pants. Here's the all-black DC Universe Classics Batman. Definitely reminds me of the Michael Keaton Batman. All black, yellow oval, yellow utility belt. Cool figure. This figure also got a re-release years later in the All-Star Wave. Here's the only figure I have unopened from Wave 11. This is the Question. He's a fan's choice figure. The fans got to vote on the figure they wanted most, and Question won. Now I have him unopened, not exactly a Batman-related character, but at least some slight little bit. I always wish one company would make a Montoya as the Question. DC Universe, Fan's Choice, The Question, Wave 11, Figure 5, Collect to Connect. Back, here's the rest of the wave. You got Katamatua, probably pronouncing that wrong, Shark, Deadman, Cyborg Superman, The Question, Jon Stewart, Steppenwolf, and you get Kilowog. Here's the Question out of the package. I always thought the Question was a really cool character, kind of like Rorschach, kind of like Batman. And although I don't have him unopened, I also have the Shark. Not a Batman Rogue, but I thought it was kind of a cool figure. Here's the only figure I have unopened from Series 12. This is Eclipso. Not exactly a Batman-related character, but there were definitely some Eclipso stories featuring Batman characters. DC Universe, DC Comics, 75 Years of Superpower, Eclipso, includes a collector's button. On the back, got the rest of the wave. Eclipso, some stats. Dr. Midnight, Eclipso, Desaad, the Spectre, Mary Batson, Copperhead, Iron, and you make Darkseid. Here's the Eclipso figure out of the package. Out of Wave 12, I also got Copperhead as sort of an occasional Batman villain, and Desaad, and to work for Darkseid. I don't have any figures from Wave 13 unopened, but I did get Superboy, as I thought it'd be cool to add him to the Superman family, and Cheetah, as I thought it'd be cool to have her interact with Catwoman. Series 14 is a collecting unit, build the Ultra Humanite wave. I only have Zatanna out of the package from this wave. The only figure I have from Series 15 unopened is the Sinestro Corpse Batman. This wave was a build-up Validus. DC Universe, DC Comics, 75 Years of Superpower, Sinestro Corpse Batman. On the back, a little bit of stats about him and the rest of the wave. Raven, Golden Pharaoh, Martian Manhunter, Omac, Starman, Jen, Batman, and Validus. Here's the Sinestro Corpse Batman. Not a necessary variant, but I was all in for the Bat characters. And out of that wave, I also got Golden Pharaoh open. I was planning to use him as a modern version of King Tut. That was a Batman villain from the 1966 show. Here's Wave 16 of DC Universe Classics. This wave is Collect to Connect Bane. It's about time we got a Batman Rogue as a Collect and Connect, and plenty of Batman characters in the wave. This wave has Jonah Hex, the Creeper, the Riddler, Robin, a variant of Robin, Mercury, and Azrael in his Batman armor. And although there are some non-Batman characters here, each one of these figures would contain a piece of Bane, so I had to have them in my unopened Batman-related action figure collection. Let's go ahead and look at half the wave at once. Here's the first half of the wave. The packaging has changed. It's quite a bit taller now, although the figures didn't change size at all. Can't imagine that was good for retail space. DC Universe, Classics, Jonah Hex, Wave 16, Figure 1. Jonah Hex is not exactly Batman related, but he's definitely operated in old Gotham. Backside, some stats of Jonah Hex, and here's the rest of the wave. Jonah, Creeper, Riddler, Robin, Mercury, Azrael, and you get Bane. Then we have the Creeper, Wave 16, Figure 2. Creeper's not exactly Batman related, but he did sort of start out in Gotham, and he's a very Joker-esque character. Creeper, rest of the wave. And here's the Riddler. The Riddler, Wave 16, Figure 3. This is him in his sort of spandex jumpsuit. They already made a Riddler in his business suit. Riddler stats, rest of the wave. Here's Jonah Hex loose. Probably the best Jonah Hex figure out there. Here's the Creeper. He can work as a Batman rogue. He can work as somebody working with the Joker. And you know what? He can also work as a Batman ally sometimes. Here's the Wave 16 Riddler in his jumpsuit. Not exactly my ideal version of the Riddler, but it definitely has a place from the comics. Here's Robin. I love it. He's in his classic costume. Everything looks perfect. This one has the curl on his hair. I use this one for Dick Grayson. And I always use the variant with the wavy hair as Jason Todd. Both Dick Grayson and Jason Todd in the original continuity wore the same Robin costume. And the Mercury figure, I no longer have him. He was customized into something years ago. Here's Azrael in his Batman armor, the blue version. It's a great looking figure, but Mattel made some dumb decisions. They put the fins on his arms backwards. I mean, how many people look at these things before they get released? Come on, Mattel. And if you buy the entire wave, you get the Collect and Connect Bane figure. I've seen a lot of people complain this Bane is too big, but I really, really like him. I think he's perfect size. Here's the only figure from Series 17 that I have. This is the Sinestro Corp Scarecrow. DC Universe, Sinestro Corp Scarecrow, Wave 17, Figure 2. On the back, got some stats on Scarecrow. Then we have the rest of the wave. Indigo Lantern the Atom, Star Sapphire Wonder Woman, Orange Lantern Lex Luthor, Sinestro Corp Scarecrow, Black Lantern Hal Jordan, Blue Lantern the Flash, Angel Built Anti-Monitor. Now, I was not into the million, trillion, billion different Green Lantern type things they made. Here's Scarecrow. It's a gorgeous Scarecrow figure. I wish they'd repainted him in more traditional colors and re-release the same thing. I'm sure there are a ton of easy customs with this guy. I don't have anything from Series 18 Unopen, but I do have Toyman and Bronze Tiger loose. I got Toyman, as he can work for a Batman rogue. He can also interact with the Joker. And then I got Bronze Tiger. He could be a Bat Rogue. He can sometimes be a Bat Ally. He was trained by the League of Shadows. From Series 19, that was built of Stripe Wave, I have Cobra and Sandman. I definitely remember some comics where Batman tried to take down Cobra's organization. And I got the Sandman. A, he's a cool design, and B, I always wanted to turn him into a great ghost, but never did. And I actually have absolutely no figures from Series 20. Their last traditional wave. Now let's look at the world's greatest superheroes re-releases. We have a couple different versions of Batman, Robin, and Shazam. Packaging is the old school package, a little smaller. DC Universe, World's Greatest Heroes, Classic Detective Batman. It's a re-release of Batman from Series 1. Back, you just see Batman there, some stats. Here's a gray and black version of Batman. This guy never got a single release until now. He might have been in a 2-pack before this. World's Greatest Superheroes Batman. Back, similar stats. You see a bunch of other figures from this World's Greatest Superheroes line. World's Greatest Superheroes Robin. Exactly for all red outfit from 1 year later. And I don't know why I have this Shazam unopened. Somehow it fell in my lap and I decided not to open it. And here are the 3 of these 4 figures that I have out of the package. Here's the next group of Batman-related re-releases they made. These have 75 years of superpower on the front, but they're part of the All-Star line. Once again, we have that gray and black Batman with yellow oval. Then we have gray and black Batman with no oval, a little more modern take. Then the original blue and black Nightwing, and what's dubbed as Renegade Nightwing in his red, sort of dark red suit. So let's take a look. They're in the smaller, older packaging. DC Universe, DC Comics, 75 years of superpower Batman. All-Star figure. On the back, see Batman, some stats. Here's some more figures from the line. Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Flash, Power Girl, and Nightwing. Pretty strong assortment. Here's this Batman. Same accessories, but he has no oval around. Backside, exact same thing. Nightwing, just like the standard release from Series 3. 75 for Superpower, All-Star. Rest of the wave on the back. And we have this Nightwing. You would have thought they would make the traditional New 52 Nightwing in his red outfit, but no, this is from some very specific comic appearance. 75 years, All-Stars, rest of the wave. And here are all 4 of these figures out of the package. The red Nightwing is the only one that was not a re-release. Here's some DC Universe Classics All-Stars in the newer, taller packaging. Now, the first 2, we have sort of a New 52 Batman and Red Robin. Those are from their own wave. And then the others are all re-releases. Black Suit Batman, Deathstroke, and Joker. They're from a separate wave. Here are the first 2, Batman and Red Robin. Taller packaging. DC Universe, All-Stars Batman. This Batman is on sort of the traditional buck, but a lot of new sculpting parts. A little more of a modern, dark gray version. Back, got stats about Batman. And here are the 4 figures from this assortment. Superman, Batman, Red Robin, and Superboy Prime. Of course, I just focused on the Bat characters. Now, I was much more excited for this guy, Red Robin. This was in before the New 52, I believe. When Batman was killed by Darkseid, Red Robin, I guess, didn't believe he's dead. Went up to Europe to find him. Donned this costume. He got his own series for a while. This is the same costume that Dick Grayson used in Kingdom Come. So kind of interesting. Of course, Red Robin has used several different costumes since then. All-Stars, Red Robin. Got some stats on Red Robin. This version is Tim Drake and the rest of the wave. Here's this Batman. After having so many different Batmans on the exact same body, it was refreshing to at least get some new sculpting details in this guy. Pretty nice figure. And here's Red Robin out of the package. As Damian Wayne was becoming the new Robin, I was really happy to finally have a Tim Drake and Red Robin costume figure. And here are the next 3 figures. Black Suit Batman, Deathstroke, and Joker. There was a whole wave of All-Stars. I believe they were all re-releases, and these are the Batman-related characters. As you can see at the top, DC Universe, Batman, Figure 1. He's got the Batarang and Batcomputer on the back. Some stats about Batman. Here is the rest of the wave. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Flash, Deathstroke, and Joker. Really solid wave of re-releases. Deathstroke here, exact same as the previous figure. All the different bells and whistles. Pistol, rifle, sword, staff. Figure number 6. Rest of the wave. And of course Joker, also decked out with accessories. Mallet, Joker cane, Joker fish, Joker cards. Figure 7. Rest of the wave. And here are these 3 figures loose and open. Now that we're still looking at the DC Universe Classics figures in the original packaging, let's check out the 2-packs in a similar package. I got all the Batman-related 2-packs they made. The presentation is fantastic on these 2-packs, and the character selection is great as well. First of all, we have a modern Batman and modern Tim Drake Robin. They finally gave us Tim Drake Robin in the green and red outfit, although it wasn't quite what we wanted. Then we have Clayface versus Batman. Fantastic pack, re-releasing the DC Superheroes Clayface, and give us a muddied up Batman variant. Batgirl and Azrael, both re-releases for the DC Superheroes line. Both fantastic figures that deserve to re-release. The Nightfall 2-pack, Azrael Batman versus Batman. Both repaints of those characters. We have Azrael and his Batman armor in the red version, and then a modern Batman battle damaged. The Mad Love pack, presentation is fantastic. Joker re-release in a black suit, Harley Quinn with her white face, and all of the original accessories. And then Hawk Girl versus Gentleman Ghost. Fantastic pack. Gentleman Ghost was really hard to track down. This was a really appropriate character to re-release. Here's this Batman and Robin set. The dynamic duo. A modern version. DC Universe. This was a Walmart exclusive. Batman and Robin. Modern Batman, no oval. Modern Tim Drake Robin. Got that green costume. Back, you can see the two figures. And here's an advertisement for another 2-pack. Bizarro versus Superman. Here's this Batman and Robin out of the package. A very nice modern dynamic duo. Batman with no oval. And finally, a DC Universe Classics Tim Drake in the red and green outfit. Now, they were lazy. They used the exact same sculpt from the year later Robin. This guy has fins. Really cheaped out. All they had to do was make a few new parts and it would have been a perfect Tim Drake Robin. But that's pretty much why Mattel lost the license. They got super lazy along the way. Then we have this Clayface versus Batman Fists of Clay figure pack. This is a great pack. I absolutely love Clayface. And back in the day, the cat ate the fingers off my Clayface, so I was happy to get a replacement. DC Universe, Clayface versus Batman Fists of Clay figure pack. Clayface in the package, Batman with a batarang, and Batman has mud splattered all over him. Battle damage versus Clayface. The back, Batman versus Clayface, and an ad for Robin and Azrael 2-pack. A very nice themed 2-pack with a fantastic Clayface and a really cool Clayface themed battle damage Batman. Here's Batgirl and Azrael, two supporting Batman characters that would never have existed at the same time. Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, but of course, by the time Azrael joined the team, she was long since crippled as Oracle. Here's Batgirl and Azrael, both phenomenal figures. I'd say it's easily the best Mattel Batgirl they made, and the best Mattel Azrael. This is how Azrael looked when he became an agent of the Bat after Batman retook his mantle. Useful in so many ways. Now for the Nightfall, Azrael Batman and Batman 2-pack. This is perfect reuse of repainting the sculpt, giving the red armored Azrael versus the blue one, and then Batman, classic modern looking blue and gray Batman, but add a little battle damage. DC Universe, Azrael Batman, Batman, Nightfall. Back, got the two Batman fighting each other. Here's the red armor Azrael and the battle damage Batman. 2 thumbs up for both these figures. Here's the Mad Love 2-pack, Harley Quinn and the Joker. Harley Quinn with a proper white face, and Joker in a black tux. Just makes perfect sense. DC Universe, Harley Quinn and the Joker, Mad Love. They're both decked out with accessories and in a really nice dance pose in the package. Joker, Harley Quinn. Here's Harley Quinn and the Joker. This would be my favorite DC Universe Harley Quinn. I prefer the white face to the blue face version. And although I do prefer the purple Joker, this black suit one is very nice. And the last 2-pack, Hawkgirl vs. Gentleman Ghost, Fates Intertwined. Not only got this because Gentleman Ghost is loosely a Batman villain, and I don't have this single version unopened, about the only thing missing in my Batman DC Universe Classics collection. Hawkgirl, Gentleman Ghost, now for whatever reason, his torso and upper legs have completely yellowed over time, and I don't understand why. This pack has not been in the light. It's been boxed up for many years in the same room and temperature with all the other figures. He is one of the few examples of one that has discolored over time, and it's quite significant. Hawkgirl versus Gentleman Ghost. Here's my loose Gentleman Ghost, and he has not yellowed at all. I just do not understand what happened to this guy in the package. Very odd. They also made a couple of 5-packs. I only got the Batman-related versions. This 5-pack has Superman, Two-Face, Lex Luthor, Catwoman, and Batman. DC Universe, Superman, Batman, Lex Luthor, Catwoman, Two-Face, Gotham City 5. Not really sure why Lex Luthor is included in the Gotham City 5-pack, but you know what? That works. This is the only way to get this Lex Luthor, and frankly, these two as well. Backside, all 5 figures from the pack, little description of each one. Now here are 4 of these 5 figures open. I didn't get this pack twice. I only got it once to keep unopened. I believe I tracked down Two-Face and Catwoman loose on eBay, and then Batman and Superman are open from different releases. Another 5-pack that I have is the Crime Syndicate of America. It contains Superwoman, Owlman, Ultraman, Johnny Quick, and the Power Ring. I got this pack simply because I had Owlman, and he's a Bat-related villain. This was a Walmart exclusive. DC Universe, Superwoman, Owlman, Ultraman, Johnny Quick, and the Power Ring. On the back, a little description of each of the characters, and some classic art for each one. Owlman is the only one of these guys that I have open. He's the only Batman-related rogue. I got this guy loose on eBay many years ago. There was an action figure line based off the animated film Superman Batman Public Enemies. I believe this is a Target exclusive. You would build a figure, you get Brimstone. Now I wanted to get each and every one of these figures unopened because the film is titled Batman Superman Public Enemies, so I'd consider this a Batman line. At least my weird OCD brain. This line consisted of Batman, Superman, Black Lightning, Major Force, Icicle, and Silver Banshee. Here are both versions of Batman and Superman. Packaging: Superman Batman Public Enemies, Superman in the corner. The background is a nice little brick wall with some graffiti on it. Batman, he's in his black and gray outfit. On the back, Batman, graffiti in the background, Lex for President. Here are the rest of the figures in the line. And then you get Brimstone if you buy all the figures. There's a variant of Batman. This one is in the blue and gray. Rest of the wave. Here's your traditional Superman. Rest of the wave. And they made this other Superman variant. Kind of has a metallic paint scheme. I noticed that both Batman and Superman, they come with the same Build-A-Figure pieces. So if you get either one, you could still complete Brimstone. Here's a black and gray Batman. I actually didn't get the blue one loose. If I go back in time, I damn sure would have. And I don't know what the hell happened to this figure, but over time, his face has become beat and bright red. Torso a little bit discolored from his arms. Figure's been in the same tub condition as all the rest of my figures. Not sure why this guy turns beet red. Just so weird. He definitely didn't look like this when I first got him. Here's Icicle out of the package. I got him because I thought it'd be cool to have him interacting with Mr. Freeze. And it sure has been over the years. And here's Silver Banshee. I got her because she's a unique General DC rogue. Thought she might team up and fight Batman sometimes. When DC Universe Classics pretty much died off at retail, they were still making figures at MattyCollector.com. This is called their Signature Collection. Now, it didn't really work out very well. Their website sucked. They'd always have crashing errors and server busy. They'd release figures at a certain time, and of course, not enough people bought them because they cost more. There was shipping. The website sucked. Eventually, it seemed like they just blamed the fans for the line dying. But in retrospect, I would say making 1,000,000 trillion different figures of the same buck and making 1,000,000 trillion different variations of Green Lantern at the end was their ultimate downfall. Here are all the single Batman-related figures released in the Signature Collection. There are a total of 7 of them. I got each of the Batman-related characters. I got 2 of them. These unopened ones are still in their outer white boxes, and I've never once opened them to expose the inner packaging. They looked pretty boring like this. Packaging kind of dull. It's all white. Inside of these boxes is a fairly normal looking packaging. We have Huntress, Robin, Black Mask, Bat-Zaro, Red Hood, Poison Ivy, and Ra's al Ghul. All figures that didn't make it to the regular line. Example of the packaging: Signature Collection, Huntress, Adult Collector by Mattel, blank on all sides. Back has some credits and a barcode. Here's the Huntress out of the package. Probably my favorite Huntress figure from any company. Here's Damian Wayne Robin. Also, probably my favorite Damian Wayne Robin figure out there. I would pick the McFarlane one, but it's just a little bit too big. Here's Black Mask. Nice, regular, suited Batman villain. Here's Bat-Zaro. I wasn't too terribly excited for him, but he does constitute as a Bat character. Here's the Red Hood. They made this shitty version of Jason Todd. He barely ever wore this costume. Everyone wanted the biker version, and they bullshit on that for so many years, and made him in their very last assortment. About 7 years overdue. Here's Poison Ivy. I bet if they released this figure back in their heyday, we would have got a green skin variant and a flesh-colored variant. Still a pretty nice Poison Ivy. And here's Ra's al Ghul. Yet some more use of that suited body. That's been made for Clark Kent, Riddler, Two-Face, Black Mask, and so many more. Now it's nice to finally get Ra's al Ghul in the DC Universe Classics line. I would have been more excited for him, but I made a custom that was very similar and superior to this one. Here's the custom Ra's al Ghul I made. That is a very similar, same body as this one. I used a Clark Kent body, a DC Direct Hush Ra's al Ghul head, and a DC Direct Trinity Ra's al Ghul cape. Then we have these couple of Superpowers and Super Amigos figures. Got Batman and the Riddler. Notice the Riddler stuff's in Spanish, kind of a throwback to the old packaging. Both these guys are completely blank, just like before. Here's the Superpowers Batman. It's an homage to the old Kenner Superpowers collection. This is that same Batman mold that's been used a billion times, just on a lighter blue and gray paint job. And here's this Riddler. This Riddler's made with a Hal Jordan body. It's sort of a throwback to the old Super Amigos, kind of knockoff Superpowers, and they used the Green Lantern body, just repainted him into Riddler. Now let's check out the Batman Legacy line. This is a sub-line of DC Universe Classics. If I'm not mistaken, for a brief period of time, there was a shelf presence with Batman Legacy and DC Universe Classics. They made a total of 12 single figures and 6 2-packs. Here are 4 of the 12 figures from the Batman Legacy line. We have a Golden Age Batman, Golden Age Batman Kmart exclusive with a Batmite pack-in, Modern Age Batman, and a First Appearance Batman. So let's take a look at the packaging. Batman, and this really appealed to me, being the Batman specific collector, a DC Universe Classics subline specifically for Batman characters. It should have been so cool, but it kind of fell short. Legacy Edition, Batman Golden Age. Not exactly what I think of when I think of Golden Age Batman. This looks like a Silver Age Batman from Brave and the Bold, but he did have that costume on and off for many years. On the back side, Batman here. He's part of the first assortment with Batgirl and Catman. Next one here, it is the exact same figure. This is a Kmart exclusive with a Batmite pack-in. Rest in peace, Kmart, and what a sweet pack-in for the same price. Backside, exact same as the other Batman. Here's the Modern Age Batman. This is mostly reused from the DC Superheroes line. Angry Face Batman, nice body and utility belt. Backside, he's part of a later assortment with Joker and Mr. Freeze. And here's the First Appearance Batman. Batman from Detective Comics 27. Purple gloves, old school cape, big ears. Detective Comics 27. Backside. Here's this Batman and Silver Age Catwoman. Here's the Golden Age Batman and Batmite. A worthy Batman figure, great Batmite figure. My Batman is discolored on the torso and upper legs area. It's very odd. All my figures are kept in the same temperature, light, same condition, but only a select few have been discolored. This guy's discolored both in the package and out. My Gentleman Ghost, though, is only discolored in the package. No rhyme or reason, it seems like. Maybe just the kind of plastic that piece of the figure was made from. I don't know. Here's the Modern Age Batman. It's a good looking Batman figure, nice utility belt. I just didn't like the fact that his head was so angry. He's only useful for very specific scenarios. Mine's also a little bit discolored on the chest and upper leg area. Here's the first appearance Batman. When I hear Golden Age Batman, this is what I think of. Decent looking figure on that same buck from many, many years ago. Here are the next 4 figures to look at. We have Batgirl, classic Catwoman, Joker, and Catman. Comic style Barbara Gordon. Looks to be the same body as before, but repainted in different colors. Legacy Edition Batgirl. Back. She's part of the first assortment with Catman and Batman. Here's a classic Catwoman, Silver Age Catwoman. Backside, you can see she was in the assortment with the first appearance Batman. Here's the Joker with playing cards and hammer. Same cards that Mally's had before. Display stand behind him. Good Joker in a trench coat. He was in the assortment with the modern Batman and Mr. Freeze. Then we have Catman. I was really excited they made him. It looks to be on the same buck as Batman, but he's a brand new Batman villain, never made before, and it's never been made again. And he looks really nice. Catman's pretty popular in the Secret Six at this time. Here's Batgirl out of the package. An excellent repaint. Looks really good and really different. Here's Catwoman, Silver Age Catwoman, also a very good looking figure. And here's Trenchcoat Joker. I just wish he had a Tommy gun and a hat. And here's Catman, new Batman villain. I was really excited for this guy. Even though he's on the standard Batman buck, he still looks really good. And I personally made a Catman a couple years ago that looked almost the same, although sloppier paint job. This was from many, many years ago. Here are the final 4 single figures in the Batman Legacy line. We have a comic Mr. Freeze, Arkham City Batman, Arkham City Nightwing, and Arkham City Harley Quinn. That was one cool thing about the Batman Legacy line. They gave you figures from the comics, the movies, the video games, kind of like the current multiverse line. Here's the comic Mr. Freeze, Batman. He's in sort of superpowers colors. Mr. Freeze. He was in the assortment with the modern Batman and the Trenchcoat Joker. Arkham City Batman. He's in the blue and gray colors. I believe this one was a Toys R Us exclusive. Backside, you can see several more Mattel Arkham City figures. It was a pretty nice collection. Arkham City Nightwing. Modern type of costume. He's got batons. Back, you can see Nightwing and Harley Quinn. And then here is Harley Quinn. She has her bat in her game outfit. Here's Mr. Freeze out of the pack. It's a repaint of that fantastic DC Universe Classics exclusive Mr. Freeze. Now I notice mine is a little bit discolored on the top part of the legs, and the one in the packages as well. Just kind of odd. Here's the blue and gray Arkham City Batman. I was pretty excited for this figure, as I really like this color scheme on a modern Batman. They actually released 5 different paint variations of Mattel's Arkham City Batman. Most of these are from 2-packs. There's also this one in front of you, and then the black one was unreleased. It was supposed to be some sort of Nintendo Wii U exclusive or something. Here's the Nightwing figure. Good looking figure. Glossy looking suit. I like how these Mattel Arkham City figures fit in pretty good scale wise with the DC Direct stuff. And here's the Arkham City Harley Quinn. Better articulated than DC Direct figure, but a slightly softer sculpt. And then we have the Batman Legacy 2-packs. 4 of them are from the Arkham City video game, and 2 are from the Nolan Trilogy films. Here's the Batman and Two-Face package. Batman, Arkham City, Batman and Two-Face. You can see the 2 figures in the package. No actual accessories. Here's the Arkham City black and gray Batman and Two-Face out of the pack. Now it's an odd thing. Mattel made this Two-Face figure, and DC Direct skipped Two-Face and made every other rogue from the game. It was only years later they went back and made Two-Face. I know I saw some interviews with some DC Direct people stating how they just communicate with Mattel, and sometimes when one company's making a figure, they might push that same figure back, just as a courtesy. I thought that's pretty cool. They had a working relationship like that. Here's the Arkham City dark blue and gray Batman versus Catwoman 2-pack. Batman, Arkham City, Batman and Catwoman. Here's the dark blue and gray Batman and the Arkham City Catwoman. Color scheme works good for the Batman, nice paint variant. And this is the best Arkham City Catwoman. She moves great and looks great. I think she beats the DC Direct version in both categories. And now we have this unpainted, all gray version of Catwoman and Batman from Arkham City. This is based off some promotional material, a poster I believe. Batman, Arkham City, Catwoman and Batman. Here are the two of them. Here's the Batman and Catwoman figure. Kind of reminds me of the current McFarlane unpainted artist proof Platinum Chase variants. Here's Arkham City Robin and Arkham City the Joker. Arkham City, Robin and Joker. Neither come with accessories. Joker has that sick tight look to him. Here's Robin and the Joker. I personally don't think either one looks as good as their DC Direct counterparts, but they both move better. Here's the prototype suit Batman and Lieutenant Jim Gordon figures. These fit with the Movie Master line. Batman, and Gordon. Here they are in the package. Looks like Gordon has a pistol. Batman has a removable ski mask. Here's Gordon and the survival suit Batman. Nice figures, but I really hated how the Movie Masters were a smaller scale. And here's the Dark Knight Batman and Honor Guard Joker 2-pack. Really nice pack, but I hated how they forced you to get this Dark Knight Batman again, especially with what I would consider to be an army builder pack. Batman, Dark Knight, and the Joker Honor Guard disguise. Here they are. Here's the Honor Guard Joker and the Dark Knight Batman. That same Dark Knight Batman that I promise everyone who bought this 2-pack already had and didn't want again. I ended up getting 7 of these packs. 6 Honor Guard Jokers to army build as police officers, some of which I head swapped with, some of I customized. And here would be my entire Mattel Movie Master GCBD police force between the Honor Guard Joker and the Dark Knight Rises John Blake. Had a lot of potential for army building your police force. We also got these Young Justice Deluxe packs. I got the Batman related ones to keep unopened. Here's Batman, came with a rooftop piece and some cool accessories. Robin, also came with a rooftop piece and some cool accessories. Young Justice, Invasion, 2 Batarangs, Smoke Pellet, a nice diorama piece, slightly unique Batman. Back, you can see some of the other figures. And here's Robin, another diorama. He has a staff, a couple Batarangs, grapnel, a couple Robin discs. Here's this Batman out of the package. Nice figure, but the cape definitely hindered his shoulder articulation. Here's this Dick Grayson Robin out of the pack. Both pretty nice figures. Another dynamic duo. And after DC Universe Classics was over, Mattel launched this Batman Unlimited and DC Unlimited line. Really nice figures, same style and scale as DC Universe Classics. One last hurrah before they gave up and went to 4-inch figures. God, that was a dark time for Mattel DC figures. There are 12 individual figures here. We'll check them out 4 at a time. Here are the first 4 figures. We have a modern comic Batman, a Dark Knight Returns Batman, a Beware the Batman, and a Vampire Batman. 3 of these 4 are comic, and 1 is from the cartoon. Brand new packaging. Batman Unlimited. Batman. This is a repaint of the modern Batman from the end of DC Universe Classics, the All-Star series. This one has a shinier suit. I believe he's supposed to be from the New 52. Here's a Dark Knight Returns Batman. It's about time that Mattel took a stab at this guy. They used their He-Man, Masters of the Universe, bigger buck for this guy. Here's the Beware the Batman Batman. I don't know about you guys, I personally like this cartoon a lot. It was very underrated. It got shit on and canceled pretty quick. I believe there was supposed to be an Anarchy figure coming in a later wave. It never actually came out. I would love to have a version from each animated series lined up in the same style and scale. And here's the Vampire Batman from Red Rain. A little bit too thin of a figure, especially looking at the source material right here. Still, really happy to have this guy. Here's this modern looking Batman out of the package. Decent looking figure. And like I said before, it's a straight repaint of the All-Star Batman. Here's the Dark Knight Returns Batman. I thought this bigger body worked really well. Thought this figure was nicely executed. Here's the Beware the Batman Batman. I like this figure. I like this show. And this is pretty much the only 6 to 7 inch bit of merchandise from this thing whatsoever. Here's the Vampire Batman out of the pack. Very nice figure. Too thin, but looks great. I don't have the DC Direct one. Wish I did. It looks great too. I would be shocked if McFarlane doesn't make one of these in their DC Multiverse line. Here are the next 4 figures. We have Batman from Planet X, Zur-En-Arrh Batman, then we have Arkham Origins Batman, New 52 Batgirl, and an Arkham Origins Deathstroke. All pretty solid releases. Batman Unlimited, Planet X Batman. Here he is in the comics. He has a nice pack-in, a repainted Batmite, or possibly a drug hallucination from the comics. Zur-En-Arrh Batman. McFarlane is going to release one of these any day now. Arkham Origins Batman. Really nice figure. Cape's fantastic. New 52 Batgirl. Some new sculpt, some repainted parts. Looks very nice. And here's Deathstroke from Arkham Origins. 2 guns, sword, staff, decked out with accessories. Here's the Planet X Batman and Batmite. Crazy design for Batman, and a nice repaint for Batmite. Arkham Origins Batman. Really nice cape. Good looking figure. Too small to go with the DC Direct stuff. Here's Batgirl. A lot of reuse here, but it works good. Very nice looking modern Batgirl. Here's Deathstroke. Decent figure, but way softer than the DC Direct version. Here are the final 4 figures in my Batman DC Universe Classics collection. We have the Penguin, Injustice Batman, and Injustice Joker. Batman Unlimited, Penguin and old superpowers look. The Penguin, straight repaint from DC Universe Classics Wave 1 Penguin, but it works. Injustice Batman, based off the video game. This one here is in sort of blue and gray colors. Now this one here is the exact same figure, but he has more of a purplish tint to him. And then we have the Injustice Joker. It looks pretty good. Here's Penguin, straight up repaint, superpowers colors. Very appropriate for Penguin though. Here's the Injustice Batman. I only bothered to get one of them open, and it looks to be the more purplish tinted one. Here's the Injustice Joker. Looks kind of wild, not a bad figure, but about soft as Mattel's offerings are. Now after DC Universe Classics and Batman Legacy and all that stuff ended, Mattel gave up on their 6-inch offerings and went to 4-inch figures, and I absolutely hated that. I hated they wanted you to start over. I was not going to collect those figures no matter what. Here are all the figures I have unopened in the 4-inch scale, and it really does sadden me. They had some really nice releases. On the far left, we have a Gotham Knights movie 3-pack. Very stylized Scarecrow and Deadshot. I would love to have them in the 6 or 7-inch scale. Then we have that GCPD 3-pack, 2 SWAT officers and Gordon. My God, an army builder pack like that, I would have been in heaven if it was 6-inch. Then we have the Injustice Stealth Robin. It made for a cool build-a-diorama of the Hall of Justice. Now Ra's al Ghul and Cheshire. I would love to have a 6 or 7-inch Cheshire. And then a Young Justice dynamic duo. At least we got those guys in the 6-inch scale. So that was my collection of DC Universe Classics 6-inch DC figures. Arguably the best 6 and 7-inch DC line out there. McFarlane is catching up, but the character selection was amazing. There are a million Bat-related characters I wish that Mattel had made, but they did a great job. They gave us all the A-lister rogues and heroes, and most of the B-listers. They even threw in some D-listers along the way. I have much love for this line. This is what really got me into action figure collecting, as far as opening them. So this is dHunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure collection and action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Stay tuned for the next episode. That's going to contain Mattel's DC Multiverse figures. That is the end of their DC Universe Classics 6-inch collecting line. Once again, this is dHunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.